what do we have going on here, and what are you guys seeing as you guys are going out and doing stuff?
So right now here you have a group of special operations veterans like myself that have kind of consolidated here at what we're calling Fob Savage right now, located in Shannanoa. And what we're doing is trying to assist the locals in developing the intel picture with what isolated communities or isolated first responders may still not have power or connectivity, so that we can push out prepackaged sustainment kits to them consisting of a Starlink internet and a small generator, fuel, and oil to allow them to at least get their departments online and assist their coordination, through local levels up through county, state, and federal. And we're fortunate that we've got a lot of volunteers here that have provided aircraft, which have been essential into getting into some of these areas, and then the skill sets of the special operations veterans that are allowing us to do really hasty LZ landings, hop out, drop this stuff off, get these departments and different communities set up real quick, let them know that they've got connectivity, and as they have emerging needs, they can report back to us. But really pushing out these generator sets and the Starlinks is pretty critical just to build the communications network back up.
Okay, and so what what assistance have you seen coming from the federal government?
So it's been limited. I know I spent the past 2 days driving around the local response. What I will say is, I've seen a lot of search and rescue teams from the various states. We know there's a lot of National Guard, special operations elements that are really working throughout the area where this is right in their wheelhouse. But what we've seen is kind of coordination is lacking. There's a lot of resources being expended hitting what we call dry holes, where we'll get intel reports that there's different people that need or have different requirements. They may have medical problems. They may just be entirely out of food and water, isolated, not able to do anything. And then by the time the reports get to us and we're able to dispatch aircraft or ground teams to go out and get them, it's old news. But we've been there for 2 days, or somebody's been there for 2 days. So really the biggest, things that we've seen are there's a lot of people that want to help, but really the coordination has been hit or miss. Not sure if it's a loss of communications or what's going on, but the volunteer community's been great. There's a lot of goods on the ground. Getting them to the people that need them by priority has been the hardest part.
And if people want to help, what should they do?
Really, the hardest thing is we've got a network right now built through organizations like Special Forces Charitable Trust and others where they can donate funds, they can donate money. There is a GoFundMe for Fob Savage. I don't have the link handy right now, but there's donating water and stuff like that. We're sitting pretty well on that. I mean, the common needs, water, food, stuff like that, diapers, toiletries, things like that, we're sitting pretty well on. A lot of this is getting more, things like these generators in place, because they're going to be out of power for weeks here in some of these areas. So it's how do we build the communication network to understand what they need, and then get this stuff out there to keep them up on communication so they can report situations and emerging, circumstances with people in their areas. So really, people helping. The biggest things they can do, it costs, I forget what Adam said, but hundreds of thousands of dollars a day to conduct airfield operations like we're doing right now. So honestly, donating, and that's all volunteered from these organizations who are not, these are ad hoc organizations that were stood up for this. So nobody's asked for money, but when you look at these aviation groups that have just, kicked in hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fuel, blade time on the aircraft, pilot hours, etc., getting donations to the right groups that are out here doing the work is pretty critical. And other than that, we've put out the call for other veterans that are just kind of multi-talented or have different skill sets in these kind of austere environments where they're not, being inserted somewhere in the mountains and told, hey, you're going to live out of your backpack for 2 or 3 days trying to figure it out is like, okay, that's a day's work. That's no big deal. We just want to make sure that, we're reducing risk to the overall situation by putting people in that are properly trained and equipped with communication to assist rather than create more problems.
think, and I guess one of the questions I would have is, are there a lot of people coming here wanting to help, but they don't know what to do, so they just come here?
There are. I would say if people want to help, I mean, we need help with everything from just managing the pallets upon pallets upon pallets of donations, but really beyond the kind of everyday traffic control and managing the inventory of supplies here. A lot of what we're doing is pretty specialty expertise stuff. So it's guys that have 20 years in the military, doing hasty landing zones, and I don't want to say controlling aircraft. I mean, they did that active duty, but getting birds safely in and out of here quickly, not clogging up the airspace, and being as efficient as possible about it, and organizing these search and rescue parties or similar.
Cool. And just out of curiosity, you may not even have this answer. Do you know how many people are just in the mountains without power, just waiting for y'all?
I have no idea, but like I could say, after I drove, out of power is honestly hard to tell unless you're driving around at night. And with the road situations, it's not something you want to do, especially if they're unknown roads or your whole task is deliberate route, surveys to see, hey, is this open? Is this closed? I will say, I think everybody in North Carolina that owns an excavator or a bulldozer or whatever, I've seen more civilian people just out there, typical North Carolinians doing the right thing, just improving their own situation, which is helping out everybody else. Way back in the holler, as you'd say, that type of stuff. And then I've seen, what I have seen is just an unbelievable amount of linemen and different, paving, construction crews. I mean, there's areas that have already been collapsed and re-asphalted within a week. That's pretty amazing. So, power situation, I mean, I think out of any disaster response, I've seen more power trucks than anything. I heard there were convoys coming in from Canada, which is pretty amazing.
Good old backwoods ingenuity, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, you're going down these roads and you're watching a guy drive an excavator just down a county road or whatever, and you're like, he knows what he's doing. He's taking care of it. He's helping out. So yeah, it's really a grassroots movement right now.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your time.
Yep.